Okay, we're rolling.
Hey, welcome back to the How to Podcast series. It's Dave with you. I hope you're doing well. This episode is focused on the amazing people who do everything on their show. Like everything. You don't outsource anything. You do it all. You might do everything because you can't afford to outsource. You might do everything because you love every part of the creation of your show. But there's a lot of people that do like to dump the things they don't like onto other people, which is fine. I help people all the time with their show, by the way. So if you need any help, reach out. But for me, I don't have any help for my show. And if it's interesting when I tell people that, because they're like, how is this even possible? With the amount of content that comes out of the show and all that you do, how do you not have an assistant? I don't. I do it all myself. So I'm one of you, of the many, 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 not the few, but the many, many, many podcasters who do everything from end to end in your show as a team of one. Yeah, I'm with you. This is how I do it. So I think there's some advantages to being a team of one and not outsourcing, even though I help people with their shows. I think there's some advantages for you as a podcaster to do everything, especially when you first start, even if you're just learning. But you're going to learn more and you're going to learn faster when you don't give away all of the elements of your show creation to somebody else, because you don't know what they're doing and you're not learning in the process. So I want to talk about this. So if you think being a team of one is a bad thing, it's actually a good thing. Stick around. For us team of one podcasters, a team of me, it's easy to have a team meeting, by the way, when it's just you. We wear every single hat possible in the process of creating a podcast. And that's actually not a limitation. It's actually our superpower as a team of me. Your fingerprints are on every single aspect of your show. And it means that you're going to learn faster, you're going to adapt quicker, and you build something that's truly yours. I love outsourcing and helping people. And I understand that people don't have time to do it all or the tech ability to do it all, and they need help, which is great. But for us team of one people, we do everything right from beginning to end. It's all us. So why does solo creators learn faster than people who outsource? When you handle everything, all of the pieces, the show becomes an extension of you. You notice what works because you chose the hook. You created the intro. You did the questions. You pre-screened your guests. You edited the show. You released the show. You promoted the show. You did it all. You feel the pacing issues when you listen and edit your own show because you recorded it. You know the key moments in the conversation because you were there. You know where to pull the clips. You have timestamps of when the guest said something outstanding, and that would be my social clip. You don't need a tool to tell you all these things. You spot dead air because you mixed it yourself. You see the big gaps. You can make somebody sound better than they sounded during the interview. Nobody knows your show's DNA better than you do. And that deep ownership that you have for your show is irreplaceable. Nobody can do it exactly the way you can do it. And that's your superpower. When you have multi-role podcasters, they compress years of learning into months. Booking guests teaches you to find people who fit the vibe of your show. Editing reveals your crutch words, like my so's, and that's great. Those are mine. Among many, you know more than I do. Promoting uncovers your real voice on social. You get to show up and be the voice, be the talent, be the first point of contact, because it's all you. And you're not just building a podcast, you're building a podcasting brain. Every hat, every role teaches you something portable to any future project. Think of all the things you do that you didn't do before you started your podcast. These are all tangible skills that you would not have had you not started your show, And had you not been the one to do everything for your show? I think as we talk about creating our own content and being the team of one, the team of me, we need to focus on humanity over polish. So what do I mean by this? It's based on the listener's perspective as they come to your show. Listeners are craving real humanity in a world of AI and fake and this and all of that. They want that real humanity over studio polish. A genuine fumble beats a scripted robot, hands down. You'll hear me on this show and my other shows where I mispronounce a word or I stumble over a word, or there's times I have asthma and you'll hear a little bit of a whisper or a little bit of whistle in my voice from time to time if I'm having a bad asthma day. That's Dave. And I try to take things out. I try to clean it up, but sometimes I miss it. So that's the humanity side of it. And I don't say never edit out those kinds of things, because over time it can be a little bit annoying to people when you do something without addressing it. But focus more on the humanity than the polish for your show. Your authentic excitement about a topic trumps any generic show notes. And big team shows often sound overly sanded down, like too polished. And your quirks, they're actually not a bad thing. They're the magic sauce for your show and makes you stand out against all of your competition. It's your humanity, not the polish, that we need to focus in on. And the one thing I love about being a team of me is the freedom to scale. I can scale my show. I can also keep it lean. Just me. Solo creators always have options. When you're not a solo creator, you don't have as many options. Need an editor? You can already speak their language if you want to hire an editor, because you've been an editor. You know how to edit your show. You speak their language. You know what they're saying to you when they come back to you with feedback. You want to collaborate? You bring a full stack of value. Ready to quit or pivot? No team drama, no sunk costs. You don't have to fire anybody. You control your whole process completely because you're the only one. Your fingerprints make your show unmistakable and so unique. And that's what matters more than any download stat. So when people ask you, who edits your show? Who gets your guests? Who does this? Who does that for your podcast? Don't look down at your feet and rub your toes in the dirt and kind of embarrassed to say that, well, I do everything. No, be proud of that. You do everything for your show. You do it all. And because you do it all, you do it well. And you love your show. This is your baby. This is your thing. I would love for you to go and just kind of do a list. Grab a piece of paper, grab your phone, whatever, and make a list of all of the things that you do in every episode. And write it out. Pin it up somewhere. And realize that if you had to hire all of the people on that list to do your show, A, how much would it cost? And B, how would you raise the money to pay all those people? And would you feel a connection or an obligation to those people to create your show in the future? It becomes a business. Now, take out put your name beside all of those tasks and go, wow, I do a lot for this show. Just make a list and note one lesson that each thing on that list has taught you. That's the next step. So I'm an editor. What have I learned? I'm the promotion person. What have I learned? I produce the show. What have I learned? I get my guests. What have I learned? And pick the one thing that you enjoy the most and own that fully for your next 10 episodes. Like really lean in on the one thing that you really enjoy out of that list. You may love it all, but pick one thing you're just super in love with. This proves your strength, and it's going to help you to build unshakable confidence as a team of one, a team of me. This is what it takes. And I'm encouraging you to enjoy the oneness of being a team of one. And sure, someday you might have the money, the finances, the time, to hire somebody and train them to help you. I would love that for my show down the road, to have somebody to help me with email, maybe with social promotion. Yeah, that'd be great. I get a ton of emails and people telling me that they can help me, but I don't have any way to pay you. It would come right out of my paycheck from work. So that's not going to happen. So at this point, it's me. And I don't see it as a limitation. I see it as my superpower. And I hope you do too. So to give you an idea, here are my closing credits for my podcast, which you'd hear on those big shows. And here's a list of how I approach my show. And it's more little tongue-in-cheek, right? To kind of put this at the end. But do this in your mind. Do this for your show. And I think it's a good idea to kind of remind yourself of how much you do for your show, how much you love your show, how much you love your audience, and how much you love podcasting. So here's my closing credits for the How to Podcast series. Hopefully this makes you smile a little bit. Thanks for listening.
This episode of the How to Podcast series was created by a team of one that pours his heart into every moment. Hosted by Dave Campbell. Recorded by Dave Campbell. Produced by Dave Campbell. Edited by Dave Campbell. Guest booking by Dave Campbell. Sound design by Dave Campbell. Show notes and graphics by Dave Campbell. Social media and community by Dave Campbell. Sponsorships by Dave Campbell. Executive producer, Dave Campbell. Website design by Dave Campbell. Coffee runs by Dave Campbell. The How to Podcast series is a production of True Media Solutions. Find us at truemediasolutions.ca. Until next time, keep telling your story.
You're still here. Awesome. Question came in from a new podcaster that I'm working with, and they were asking about show format. So that's kind of like how the podcast episode is built. So there's a bunch of different things. This person is wrestling with the idea of doing a solo podcast, just them on the show like I'm doing right now. Solo podcast, an interview podcast with guests, or a co-hosted podcast where you have two people who share the load. And there's a bunch of other kinds as well. And they're saying, where should I start? So if I think back to this and what we talked about, I just made the suggestion was, do you know somebody that you have great relationship with, great interactions with? You can kind of complete each other's sentences and you love talking to them. And you both share a passion for the topic that you want to podcast about. And they said, not really. Okay, so that's a co-host. So maybe in this situation, that's not going to be the first choice. I said, how do you feel about like a monologue? Just you talking to the audience, just yourself, and there's nobody else there to kind of bounce off of. Would you be motivated in that situation? And they said, well, I'm afraid of running out of ideas. And I like having somebody to bounce off of and to carry the weight. Maybe not as a co-host, but I'm a little nervous about doing solo episodes every time. And we kind of talked through about maybe interviews. And there's a lot of podcasts about podcasting that are telling podcasters, new podcasters and established podcasters, to stop doing interviews. But when I look at the stats over at Podmatch, there are more podcast guests than there are podcasts that have interviews. So there's a huge list of people looking to get on shows. So if you're trying to start a show from scratch and you want to have an interactive conversation with somebody else and not just talk on the mic by yourself like I'm doing right now, there's nobody else here. My cat is here, my dog. That's it. If that's not what lights you up, then maybe an interview would be perfect for you. So look at Podmatch, look at services like that, and maybe go down the path of interviewing. Because then again, you have somebody there with you and you don't have to carry the conversation. You're going to share your audience with the guest. But if you're looking to start and that's going to keep you podcasting longer, then maybe interviews. If you have questions about the format for your upcoming show or maybe a change to your show and you're like, I'd just love to sit with Dave and have a coffee virtually and chat about this, anytime, howtopodcast.ca. Love to meet you there. Take care.